Let's go to Pete in Sudbury, Ontario. Pete, what's going on?
Hi, Dave. I have a question.
Yes.
I was just wondering, keep hearing rumors that you have rectal warts. Is this true?
God, that was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the time on hold for that one.
I know, unbelievable.
Aren't you the one that had a Hall of Fame that you didn't put me in because I hadn't been in a lot of territory?
I wasn't the one who didn't put you in the Hall of Fame. That was voting. Tell me what you think. I mean, as far as, you said that, I didn't put you in the Hall of Fame. It's a voting process, and I only have one vote out of...
Voting me now.
What? Okay.
I thought you were the one that had prompted somebody to call me about inclusion into a Hall of Fame that you have.
I didn't prompt anyone to call you. I mean, Mike Mooneyham may have called you.
Maybe they're just using your name for the heck of it.
Okay. There's a Hall of Fame that, is in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that we do balloting once every year, and it's been recognized in, like, a lot of other places. And your name has been on the ballot in the past, and you didn't get in, and, you're...
Well, let me ask you this question. Why do you think I was in wrestling?
Why were you in wrestling to make a living?
No.
Okay. Then why were you in wrestling?
I could make a living doing a lot of things. I wanted to make money.
Okay.
I wanted to be able to do what I did. Retire at the age of 42 or 43 and tell everybody to stick it up their butt.
Okay.
Okay? That was my purpose. I wanted to be able to make enough money to be able to retire. Not make a living. I can go do that digging ditches someplace. So, I ended up going to places to begin with, not knowing what the heck was going to happen. As you know, I started in Minneapolis. I went to Calgary for about 4 weeks, and I left there. It was nothing. I then came down to the Carolinas, and we made money there. That's the only reason I would be in this business. Again, if you've read the book, you know I told Vern, if I can't make money wrestling, I'm not going to be a referee. I'm not going to be a guy hauling the ring around. I'll be out of here in a heartbeat. I'm gone. Okay, so then I was in Omaha, I was in Chicago, I was in different places wrestling, trying to find myself and trying to be able to determine where I would be able to make money. When I came to the Carolinas in '68, with less than a year in the business, we were starting to make some money. I was getting ready to leave, and the old man said, you can just stay here as long as you want. And always my answer was the same. If I make money, I stay. If I don't make money, I got to go. Well, then I came to Georgia, and it was the same thing. Now, it depends on what people call money. But there was a time I would venture to say that I was the highest paid guy next to the world champion. Now, because I stayed in the Carolinas and I stayed in Georgia and had my little trip to Florida and spent a few months when I was starting out in Minneapolis and Canada and in Omaha, that didn't qualify for some people's definitions to be included in the Hall of Fame. But if they were trying to make money, then making money was the only objective that I had. Had I known that if I could have packed my wife and my kids into a car and moved from the Carolinas to Oregon and spent a year with Don Owens and then packed them up again, took them out of school and gone down to San Francisco for Roy Shire and then waited 4 or 5 months and packed them up again and gone up to Minneapolis for Fern Gagne and then packed them up again after 4 or 5 months and moved down to Bill Watts, you know what? My wife would have been crazy. I wouldn't have made any money, but at least I could have gotten in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if that would have made a difference.
What do you mean?
I don't know that, guys, I mean,
a thousand Hall of Fame other than being everywhere.
1,000 guys went from territory to territory. Very few are in the Hall of Fame. Only the top guys.
Are you missing what I'm saying?
No, I think it's not necessarily.
Territory, and they're not in it. But the point is, they weren't good enough to be in anything.
Okay,
That's why they weren't even good enough to be in one territory.
Okay, but they're not in the Hall of Fame, so I don't know what the point is. I mean, if you're trying to say you should be in the Hall of Fame, and I think that there's an argument that you should, it's got nothing to, I don't think it's got much to do with the fact that you only worked in one territory. It just has to do with, whatever the ambiguous.
What does it have to do with?
Whatever the ambiguous standards different people have to what constitutes a Hall of Fame player. The same thing is in baseball. The same thing is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know. It's an abstract thing, and some people.
There's some standards, but you don't know what they are.
I think there's a standard in that, Jack Briscoe's in the Hall of Fame, a Ric Flair's in the Hall of Fame, a Dick Murdoch is not in the Hall of Fame. Maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame. Johnny Weaver is not in the Hall of Fame and probably should not be in the Hall of Fame. And then you just judge.
Who should be in the Hall of Fame? And why should he be in it?
As far as whoever the biggest stars of the era, the biggest draws of the era, the best wrestlers of the era. The same thing. Who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Who should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Who should be in the? It's all subjective. I mean, there are no. I can say okay, you held the world title for 2.5 years, therefore you're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it probably helps if you did, but that doesn't necessarily. It's not. There's nothing. It's not like it's a lock. I mean, it's whoever. I don't know. What would you determine to be a Hall of Famer? Who would you say should be in the Hall of Fame from your era? Who would you say? Who are Hall of Famers? Who are not Hall of Famers?
Nobody.
Nobody? Okay.
I don't care about the Hall of Fame.
Well, then I don't know what we're having a discussion if you don't care. You're trying to say this is the reason that you're not in. It's it's not because you didn't travel. It's got nothing to do with that. I don't really know.
Am I just stupid?
What?
Do you miss everything that I'm trying to say, or?
No, you're missing what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say.
You're not saying anything.
Oh, yeah, I am actually. Yeah, I am actually. I am saying. Okay, all right. I'm
trying to say to you that the Hall of Fame is absolutely worthless. The most important thing to me was to make money.
Okay, then why did you devote a whole chapter in your book about it if it was absolutely worthless? About the Hall of Fame.
To point out the fact.
I mean, you wrote about it in your book, and you said well, we didn't leave, and this is why I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know that that's why you're not in. I don't know.
I wanted to be in it in the book.
What?
Did I say that I wanted to be in it in the book?
No, but you devoted a chapter in the book to it, so obviously it hit you, and it hit a nerve.
Chapter, Dave.
What?
How many pages is the chapter?
4 or 5 pages.
Oh, that's a lot, isn't it?
Well, it's in there.
Good God. Listen, it's just impossible to talk to you.
Okay.
You're like an awful lot of people that I've known in my lifetime, and I guess that must be like some people you've known.
Yeah.
I did it, and you wish you could.
Well, actually, that's not the case. I've never wanted to be a wrestler. That's not much of a point anyway. I mean, the point is you're saying that people like Flair and like Hogan and Savage, who are very, very successful in this industry, and you're saying you could find 1,000 guys. You're saying you could find 1,000.
They're still working.
What?
That's why I'm retired and they're still working.
Well, they can't give up the ghost. It's not like they didn't make money in the business. Savage made a ton of money. Flair made a ton of money. Hogan made more money than Hogan made more money than anyone probably, except for Vince McMahon.
Have you got it yet?
What?
Specifically.
Have I got what?
Not you. I don't care about you.
Okay, you're saying that
you mentioned Flair. Has he got it yet? Has he still got money or not?
I don't know. I just know that he made money. If he spent so much, that's his lifestyle. But the bottom line is, Ric Flair's made money in this business for 30 years, 25 years?
If you read the book, you also know that when he was going to get $750,000 because he was a world champion, I told the people at the doggone TBS, the suits down there, I said, if I would have known you'd be so damn stupid, I would have made myself champion.
Okay, but the thing is in that period in the 90s when you're talking about that, there was a standard. Unfortunately, the wrestling salaries, like all sports salaries, escalated. And there's a reason they escalated in wrestling because of competition.
No, they didn't escalate because of competition.
Yeah, they did.
Were you in the business, or are you just talking about like you think you know something?
Well, I know something about that. I know enough to know that.
I was there.
Okay, I know. Okay, you were there, and I also know that if you were to say to Ric Flair, we'll keep you, and you're going to make $100,000 a year, he was going to go to work for Vince McMahon. That's what it took to keep the guys. And I mean, that's just what competition did to the business. It made to keep, if TBS wanted to keep its wrestlers, if Bill Watts wanted to keep his wrestlers, if anyone wanted to keep their wrestlers, they had to pay something at least close to what Vince McMahon was paying, or the guys, all your stars are going to go to Vince McMahon. And once all your stars leave, you're in trouble. I mean, that's what.
I don't know enough to know enough.
I don't know enough to know enough. That's what killed.
Couldn't take all the people, no matter what you do.
Yeah, but he could certainly.
He's limited as to how many people he can take.
That's right, but he could certainly take.
Are you interviewing me, or are you interviewing yourself?
Okay, but he could certainly take Ric Flair and Sting. If those guys.
Let him have Sting. Let him have them both.
Okay, but with all your, if everyone sees a one-way ticket where all the stars get to a certain point and then they go to another promotion, the promotion that loses the stars, the people are going to lose their faith in the promotion.
Who was Flair before he became an Anderson?
That's the point. He's had 25 years since.
Wait a minute. Who was Flair before he became one of the Andersons?
Where he was Ric Flair working for Vern Gagne, and then he came to the Carolinas. He did very well, and then after the Carolinas, he became a world champion. And
David,
I don't know what I'm talking about. I know that Ric Flair's been a big star for 25 years.
I know it, but I said, who was he before? He started out as
what? He was Ric Flair. He started out working for Vern Gagne in 1972. What? Or do you mean what do you mean by that?
Well, your fans, if you've got any fans, tell them to read my book if they're inclined, and if you think it's worth it, then fine. But since you don't think it's worth much, then they probably.
I didn't say it wasn't worth much. I said it's an interesting perspective, but I was just.
Hey, the experts.
I'm just asking you. I'm just pointing out. You said that they were so stupid to pay Ric Flair that money, but if they didn't, he was going to leave. And
who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? It's going to. If you lose all your stars, you're not going to have a company.
Wait a minute. You just got through telling me that you thought that Ray Stevens was great, but eventually he had to go.
That's true. But once you had national competition, the game changed. The game changed completely.
If Hogan knew how to do what he's doing, how come he hasn't been successful since he left either Vern or McMahon?
Hogan led WCW, and it wasn't just Hogan; it was a whole mixture of things.
Where?
WCW did some huge buy rates with Hulk Hogan, and they did, that Hulk Hogan era. I mean, it was a lucrative era for the company. The company went from $25 million to $225 million in a couple of years with Hogan, and during that glory period,
What year are you talking about?
97, 98 were the big years.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't speak to 97, 98. I wasn't anywhere around.
Yeah. 97, 98. WCW was very, very successful, and then 99, they went with the pat hand for too long, and that's what happens when you go with the pat hand for too long. I think, they didn't understand. Eric Bischoff, in my opinion, when he was on his roll, he didn't realize that the roll was going to end. You couldn't do the same thing week after week after week on television without changing it up and without changing the names up. And I think that's what, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, I have all these stars, and now they're not drawing anymore, and I don't know what to do, and the whole company went into a collapse. Hogan spurred WCW, and it was not a one-man show by any means, but, he was a great pay-per-view draw. I mean, I don't know that he would still be a great pay-per-view draw, maybe on a one-shot every year or something like that.
You're telling me facts that I'm not aware of.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if your facts are correct, because I heard that he wasn't able to draw any money, but if you think it was different, then I guess maybe you have to be right. You've got a closer...
WCW had some successful years. He couldn't draw in 2000, 2001, but nobody could because they basically killed the goose by then by not changing things up. When did you basically... You should have
been a booker.
What?
You should have been a booker.
Okay, all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know everything about it.
You
should have been very successful.
Not in this era.
You're the most knowledgeable person I've talked to, almost in my life. Next time Brent calls me, I'm going to tell him to go shut up. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I'm going to talk to Dave Meltzer.
All right. Holy. Any final comments? Because we've got about 2 minutes to go in the show.
Yeah. Like my book or don't like my book, probably a good idea for some of your people to read it. Maybe somebody will get something out of it.
Oh, I think everyone will get something out of it.
You didn't.
I got your perspective on things.
I didn't. It's Dave Meltzer on Dave Meltzer.
Okay, all right.
You're almost as bad as me, except I was worth something.
Oh, okay, all right.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Ric Flair is wonderful.
I didn't say that, but Ric Flair...
56, and Hulk Hogan can't draw a dime, and Ric Flair can't either, but they're still working. That's good.
Yeah, but they had tremendous careers.
Yeah, sure they did. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And Randy Savage had a tremendous career.
The world champion.
What? Randy Savage had a tremendous career, too.
Oh, yeah. He's wonderful.
Well, I'm just making a point.
You are making a point.
I don't begrudge that a lot of people were able to earn a lot of money in wrestling. I mean, there are times I wish that wrestling hadn't changed, but it did. But that doesn't mean that the guys who are the top stars of today are not super talented performers at what they do.
Is it possible for you not to be speaking for just a second?
Go ahead.
Your opinion is different than what you put across as fact. When you say that Randy, whatever the heck you think he is, that's your opinion.
I know I'm saying he was successful. I didn't even say he was a great worker, although at times he was.
I don't care about a great worker.
Okay.
Tex McKenzie wasn't a great worker either.
Okay, true. He definitely wasn't. Okay.
All right? Dusty Rhodes wasn't a great worker, but we drew money with him.
That's right. And Hulk Hogan wasn't a great worker, and Vince McMahon drew money with him.
The match that you see Ric Flair have today is the one that you saw him have 10 years ago, which is the match you'll have him see tomorrow.
Yeah?
He's got one match, and that's it.
But
that's why, in my opinion, there's an awful lot to be desired. If he's still able to go out there and wrestle and draw money, then fine. That's all that counts.
Jim Cornette was actually at the Ring of Honor show a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago now, where Teddy Hart came in a cage match. And why don't you describe what happened? Because you were actually one of the first people to talk to him after the match to tell him what he did right and wrong and where he screwed up. And how did he take all this?
Well, first of all, what happened real briefly, I came up the last bit of the cage match because I had worked earlier and I was trying to get dressed and everything. I come up just in time to see Teddy Hart climb to the top of this 15-foot tall cage. Had to be 15 feet if it was a nickel. And did a backflip off out of the ring, onto the floor, onto these poor two guys, and just wiped them out. And the people went berserk. They were throwing babies in the air. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen, and if he'd have laid there and been dead, he would have been a legend. But then all of a sudden, Teddy gets up, and he climbs the cage, gets back on the top, and does a backflip into the ring and sticks it. Boom! Perfectly on his feet. And the people went, yay! And then he climbed up the cage, and he did a backflip off the other side and stuck it. And people went, yay! And then he climbed up the cage and did a backflip off the other side, and he stuck that. And you could have heard crickets chirping. People were going, is this guy a moron or what? He went, and then he proceeded to puke in the ring. Then he climbed up the ropes and puked over the side of the cage onto the floor, and then got back down and puked in the ring again. So by the time he left, he just got over like Lou Thesz and Frank Gotch rolled into one. And by the time he left the ring, people were going, Jesus Christ, get out of here. I've never seen anybody get over that good and ruin it all for himself that quickly ever in the history of the business. And so when he came back, I said, Teddy, do you realize what you've done? And I told him what he'd done is that he'd gotten over so great, and then he'd made the spectacular move that he made seem so mundane that the people actually got mad at him for doing it. And he said he had a concussion and couldn't remember it. And I said, well, hell, when I get back to OVW, I'm taking a tire iron and hitting everybody in the head. He's full of shit. I say that. I'm sorry, he lied to me. He had a concussion. He couldn't remember doing 4 20-foot backflips. So at that point, other people tried to reason with him. He almost got in a fight. The guy threw all of his stuff out of the locker room, and he had to sit around all night in the hallway, and Rod Feinstein was afraid somebody was going to beat him up because there were 2 more matches that had to roll around in his unnecessary puke. And he didn't see anything wrong with what he'd done. He thought everybody was jealous of him. He's a great young man, talent-wise, but he will never get a job because he's a complete, blithering, batshit moron.
Well, that was subtle enough.
I tried to sugarcoat it as much as I could.
Let's go to Brian in Los Angeles. Brian, what's going on?
Hello?
Hello there.
Yeah, I'd like to plug WWE on Down It and IWWF. I'd just like to say that.
Okay.
And I'd like to talk about how Dave Meltzer is a fat.
Let's go to Wayne in Missouri. Wayne, what's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good.
I just had a couple of quick questions. Well, first of all, I heard not too long ago about Kurt Angle dying.
Kurt,
right?
Kurt Angle's very much alive.
Oh, not Kurt Angle. Kurt Hennig.
Oh, Kurt Hennig died a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. My son told me here not too long ago that Elizabeth died.
Yeah, that was last year as well.
What happened with her?
Both were pretty much similar drug overdoses.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But the other quick question I had was, whatever happened to Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
He's still around. He's 61 years old now. Still wrestles from time to time too.
Okay.
On shows where they want to bring in older stars from these and everything like that. But yeah, he's around, and I saw him. God, it was a couple of years ago. I bumped into him at the Las Vegas airport. So he was doing an internet show when I was down in Las Vegas. And he's old now, but he was like wearing the Hawaiian shirt. And he was wearing the shorts. Right. And that guy.
I know.
I'm being interrupted here.
What's his name? Tried brought him back to the WWF for a while. a while ago. I guess it was about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
They brought him back. God, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I remember when they brought him back the last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they brought him back when he did the Hall of Fame. They brought him back for Raw.
A warning.
Yeah, that was later. And they brought him back with Mick Foley on that one TV show right before WrestleMania, and with Rock. So they brought him in from time to time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I had to ask.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you very much, Wayne. Okay, we're going to go to Sean in Washington D.C. Sean, what's going on?
My question was, who do you see as the most promising younger wrestlers in terms of what you were talking about?
Say that again?
Who do you see as like the most promising younger wrestlers in terms of drawing money with the promos and working a style that draws the crowd in as opposed to just high spots? I mean, who do you see as like the best up and coming team?
Give me, I don't have a roster in front of me. I mean, I'll see, it's kind of a tricky question because how young do you want to go? Obviously, Jericho, I think has far more potential than they've never used him to his fullest capacity.
I agree.
I think Hurricane's got a ton of potential. You know, there's one thing between having potential and also drawing money. It's two different things. You know, it's kind of like, if you go back, everybody thought Kramer was like the biggest deal in Seinfeld, but, you know, if you wouldn't have had Seinfeld there as the glue to hold it together, wouldn't have been the same show, even though everybody's like, more Kramer, more Kramer. Same thing with like Happy Days is my big analogy. You know, everybody thought Fonzie drew the house, you know, that it was all about Fonzie, and that's why people were watching. But once Richie Cunningham went off the show, it was over. Because he brought that, he was the glue.
He was the stability.
He was the reality base in it.
Yeah.
So, whether someone's going to fulfill that, it's hard to say. There's a lot of guys with potential.
Right. Well, great. It's been great talking to you.
Cool.
Okay, we'll get one more call in, and then we're going to have to let Raven go. We'll go to Mike in Long Island. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Doing really good.
Raven just brought up Happy Days before, you know, about when he was talking about Richie Cunningham left. Now, if somebody did that on Raw, or Vince Russo says that on TNA, you'd say outdated reference. You know what I mean?
Not when it's more of a reference to, it's not a reference as far as something that he would say in a promo. It's something, it's an analogy.
Somebody else used that analogy, you jump all over him.
No, I wouldn't.
Now listen, real quick, I want to say.
If he used a Carol O'Connor, I would say if it was relevant to the subject.
Listen, you have been saying in your newsletter, and I've been reading on the internet, everybody's like, you know, Shawn Michaels, they're pushing him like he's a great wrestler. None of the fans today even remember him from when he was around in the early 90s.
I never said none of the fans, but a lot of the newer fans from, you know, that came in '98, they really don't have a, like they sort of know the name, but they really don't have a feel for Shawn Michaels.
Then, and you're saying he's just a skinny guy or whatever with a bad haircut. Then you go in your newsletter and say, yeah, Benoit got a big pop and carry.
I never said that he was a skinny. I have made fun of his haircut. You're right about that, though.
Can't fight later. Let me know.
Go with me on this.
Okay. I have made fun of his haircut, though. Okay. You're right.
And then you say the fans really don't remember him. And then you wrote in your newsletter.
I didn't say the fans don't remember. I've said that a lot of fans don't have a understanding of him. Okay. He was before their time.
All right.
Okay.
Then you say in your newsletter that Chris Benoit was wrestling in Canada or something, and he got a big pop because people remember him from Stampede. That's 15 years ago. They don't know Shawn Michaels from 6 or 7 years ago.
No, they know him from being a local guy. When he was wrestling in Edmonton, I believe, or Saskatoon, when I made that reference. And they do feel that he has ties to local culture.
Can I get one more question for me, and you guys can argue later?
Okay. Go ahead.
He doesn't have a question for me. Let's argue with you.
Okay, no question. Okay.
Give me another caller.
Peter in New York wanted to talk to Dory. Peter, what's going on? Oh, you're gone.
Hello. Start right there.
Oh, well.
Conan interviewed. He's always got something negative, some kind of a gripe, something with the WWE. Conan, like...
I don't know about the WWE, but I think this if you're talking about this one, it isn't like he's the only person in the world with this opinion. And
you don't got to defend me. If I have a gripe, I got a gripe. What's the problem? What's your problem with me having a gripe with WWE? Are you a stockholder?
It's the second interview I've heard from...
So? Because the company's messed up, bro, and they screw people over. And they do so many things that you probably don't even know about. What do you want me to do? Lay back and not say anything? I'm opinionated. You have an opinion? I have an opinion. That's my opinion.
I can respect that. It's just every time I hear an interview, there's always something negative about WWE.
Hey, look, every time we do a show, there's probably something positive and negative about WWE. It's called discussing the subject. And this week, I mean, look, what is the subject that we're discussing? We've been discussing Eddie Guerrero. Are you going to disagree? You can disagree on that subject, but you say, oh, you're being negative. Discuss the subject. Do you think that, do you like what they're doing with Eddie Guerrero?
I'll be honest with you. It's to get Randy over as a heel, I think. And I think if there was a big problem,
so
I really think Rey Mysterio would speak out.
Well, let me ask you a question, genius. If your brother died and he was a wrestler, would you accept that what they're doing with him, like what they're doing with Eddie? Would you like them to say your brother's in hell just because it's a ratings ploy to get Randy Orton over?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's any harm in it. Especially
all right, well, then good.
For Guerrero's family.
All right, well, that's your opinion.
They're helping out the family.
They're helping.
What an idiot.
All right.
Second question.
Okay, let's go to Ed in St. Louis. Ed, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
You're like Bill O'Reilly, Dave. You just cut people off.
Let's go to Ken in New York. Ken, you're up next.
Hi.
Hi there.
I traveled down to ROH last night, and it was really amazing because it was like the first time I'd ever been to see Ring of Honor in person, and it was amazing, and it was really an incredible live experience. But the only negative thing I think that came out of that after the show was over for me was because from the vantage point that I was sitting, I had a clear view of one Mr. Rob Feinstein, front row center, looking on at the event. And I guess my question to you, Dave, is if you were at the helm of the current product, the current Ring of Honor, and especially given the fact that you're the parent of a young child, would you ever allow this guy to set foot into one of your events?
I didn't even know he was there. I hadn't heard that.
No, he was there. He was definitely there.
I'm surprised they let him. Not so much let him back. Well, I'm surprised they would let him in the building. There's so much heat between him and Gabe Sapolsky. I mean, so I'm shocked to hear that.
I swear to God, on my life, he was there, and he was sitting there. I mean, not that this matters for anything, but he was sitting there with some blonde lady. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or beard or whatever, but I mean, he was watching the matches all night, and I passed him when he was in concessions. I kind of wanted to say something, but what do you say? Because, I mean, like I said, the question to you, if you were running ROH, would you let that happen? And another thing, I guess, as part of that question is, does it even matter anymore?
I don't know the answer to either one. If you're asking me if I was ROH, would I let that happen? I personally, I don't know that I would. It'd be very difficult for me to ban him from the building just because you're really setting a precedent if he doesn't do anything to act up. If he acted up, yeah. But, if he's not gonna. He's not gonna mess up the show because he's he ain't gonna do that. So I don't know that I would ban him from the building, but at the same point, if I was ROH, I wouldn't want him in the building because it doesn't do you any positives, and it does. I think that there is a negative stigma. Does it matter? I mean, I don't think that it matters as far as are people not going to go because he was there? No. I don't think that matters at all. I mean, there's nothing that you can do. I mean, WWE can exploit Eddie Guerrero's death, and it's not like people are going to stop going or stop watching. They're just going to have a bad taste in their mouth, and sooner or later when you watch wrestling, no matter what, even with Ring of Honor, I mean, that's something, I wouldn't want it, but I don't know that I would kick him out. I don't know that you have that right to kick out, someone who, if he bought a ticket. I don't know that he did, but,
like I said, I mean, what can you do? But I was kind of shocked to see him there, and I was kind of shocked because I was trying to, tell people when I first saw him, like, do you think that's Rob Feinstein there? It's like, and, a lot of these kids, they didn't know who he was, so it didn't matter. But at the same time,
yeah, I just don't know how you kick someone out that doesn't cause a disturbance. I just don't know how you do it. Because I'm sure, if WWE had its way, they would probably want to kick me out of their shows. But it's like I'm not going to cause a disturbance, and it's just like, if the guy's going to get out of hand, of course you can. But I don't see you can't have someone at the door going, we won't let you in because you can't run a record on everybody that walks through that door. There's probably people who've done a lot worse, in that building than him for all we know. You know what I'm saying? I was at a cage fighting show sitting, 2 rows up from Scott Peterson. So you're not gonna. I'm not gonna be shocked that and go, oh my God, Rob Feinstein's in the building. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think he was top though, and if that was the case, then it's kind of suspicious.
I don't know the answer. I'll try to find out what the story is on that though. Okay.
Okay. Thank
you. All right, we're going to go.
Actually, I got to say one thing here before we go on. I got an email saying Rob Feinstein was not at Ring of Honor last night.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. That was a waste of our time.
Yeah.
Go to D in Los Angeles. D, what's going on?
Yo, what up? Frank Shamrock? Hey, Steve. Hey, how's it going, man? I just want to ask you a quick question. Sure. I was wondering if your mother's cooking tasted better than Tito Ortiz's fist.
You know what? It actually did.
Here's your answer.
I was wondering anything about the rumor that Dan Severn is really the singer from Queen on steroids.
Oh, God.
Have you heard that?
You know what? I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
All right, man. I wanted to say I have to have fun to clean up the tears at the Lions Den after your next show. Oh, yeah, Howard 15. Baba Booey.
Oh, that was cool. All right. Yeah, we're on Sirius now, so I think we're going to be getting more of those. Raw on Monday, where they're going to officially announce the three-way with Triple H, John Cena, and Edge, which will be the main event at Backlash. Plus, maybe God will do his first promo.
That's right. We are waiting for the Lord's first appearance on Raw.
That's right. Because Shawn Michaels will, in fact, team with God against Vince and Shane McMahon. And I don't know. If I was God, Shawn Michaels probably wouldn't be the worst tag team partner in the ring, but I don't know.
He'd be up there as far as...
In the ring.
Sure.
In the ring, yeah. We're here with Frank DeFord from Sports Illustrated, HBO's Real Sports. And Frank, it's really great to have you on the show. Oh, not there? He will be up momentarily. Okay. I'm sorry. Brian, where were we?
I have another question. I read in Figure 4 Weekly that God is winning the World Championship at Backlash. Is that true?
Whatever.
All right.
That was a nice try.
Yeah. We're going to go to Jackie in Brooklyn. Jackie, what's going on?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Brian. What's up? Yeah, I got a bone to pick with you, Dave. Every time when you promote the Observer and Figure 4 Weekly, you say the Observer's jam-packed with news and info.
Because it is.
And you, no-sell Brian by saying, is this funny? Are you trying to say that Brian's not a good reporter?
No, I'm saying that Brian's stuff is really funny. You really should read it. It's tremendously entertaining. It's
I'm a member.
It's the most entertaining read it's the most entertaining read I have in wrestling every week. I was just talking to Brian.
The main selling point is the comedy, oftentimes.
So,
a quick question for Brian. Brian, where's my Malati DVD?
Hopefully coming very, very soon.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, we are going to go to Teresa in California. Teresa, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi there.
I've had a question.
Okay.
I heard a rumor about Daniel Peter visiting TNA a couple of weeks ago. I was wondering if you guys were going to be having him fight for you.
Daniel Peter did come by the building. He had called me. He was going to be on the East Coast, wanted to come by. He was, of course, more than welcome. We've talked a few times over the last many months since he's been gone from WWE. He comes highly recommended by somebody that whose opinion I value greatly, which is Al Snow. And is there a deal in place right now? No. Is there a possibility down the road? Absolutely. Certainly. He's somebody who shows a great natural charisma and seems to have a dedication and a love for the sport. So we're going to keep in touch and kind of see how things go as time goes on.
Okay. Anything else?
Think about him doing ultimate fighting and pro wrestling at the same time.
At the same time? That's Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that, he's certainly got great potential in both sports, and I certainly could be argued that I was never at a high level of either of them, but having done both at some level, I'd say it's near impossible. When I was doing the MMA stuff with Severn, completely ruined my pro style.
I heard he did a fight in New York, and he did pretty well out there, and I watched his fight on Google, the March 10th Strikeforce fight. He did really well. I think he's an awesome fighter. Plus, he's hot.
Okay.
That's how I gauge what fighters I like.
Okay, thanks, Teresa. Okay, let's go to Brent in Seattle. Brent, what's going on?
Yes, hey Dave, hey Brian, I hate getting your show here, so I appreciate being able to listen to the answer on the phone. Hey Scott, I wanted to let you know that I hate Vince McMahon, and so I will support your product no matter what goes on. But if you want me to really enjoy your product, I suggest that if you're going to bring in wrestlers that were big in WCW in the 80s that are that might not really have much of a future, or at least they can't really do what they could back then if they could ever do anything. Use them to put over the younger stars. Use them to put over the younger talent that you already have, rather than have them to be there to put over themselves. Do you have a comment on that? And then finally, Dave, as a Jew, I found what Vince McMahon did on last Monday. I thought it was very uncomfortable. You just don't want to go in the challenge for blood like that.
Okay. Scott, any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I wanted to hear the rest of Vince's 10 Commandments myself, but
we got up to about 5.
Yeah, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, I was disturbed when he did the WrestleMania thing. I was taking 3 steps back from the TV myself. I don't know. I mean, everybody that I know that's close to him has said he's nuts. I'm just going to have to agree with him on that one. He seems to, be kind of, criminally insane. But that's probably what makes him wildly successful. I can say that because he's never going to hire me. As soon as they found out that I wouldn't move to Connecticut, it's pretty much a pile of crap. But as far as for the question about the older stars, I do agree that the older stars need to be used to spruce in to try and bring up the younger stars. You also have to keep in mind that from a business point of view, the company is investing a lot of money. When you look at it in comparison to what TNA has spent in the past to bring in a couple of the guys, and it's really important that we get the most out of that. And I think you can do some stuff. Like I personally think Showtime Eric Young was elevated coming out of that match with Sting, despite the fact that he came up on the losing end.
We're going to start with the phone calls. We're going to go to Jackie in Brooklyn first. Jackie.
Brian, what are your thoughts on Dan Moratti ripping off half your subscribers by selling them bum Iron Sheik DVDs?
I think that people are slowly getting their DVDs, so I think we should wait until everybody gets them, and then they can handle that situation.
But the issue is about quality now. On the quality on the DVD is horrible. It's like a third-rate bootleg that you would get from a 1997 Chinese dealer.
I think the thing with independent DVDs is that I have seen a lot of bad DVDs, and I think that when you buy a DVD from somebody on the indie scene, I don't think you should expect professional quality. I haven't actually seen a DVD, so I can't really comment on it, but I think if people have a problem, they should try and keep contacting Dan Moratti, and that's that.
Do you feel that you were kind of taken advantage of by Moratti since he kind of plugged it on your show?
Well, he plugged it, but he was putting over a product that people were talking about, so I gave him the opportunity to do that, and I had no idea what the product was going to be like, and so I let him plug it.
Okay, cool. Brian, is Brent Kremen going to be on the show tonight?
We shall see.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Mark in Boston. What's going on? Hello, Mark.
Mark?
Raven and A1 are wrestling. It took A1 a little while to find out.
His hair's blue. That's the issue.
What?
His hair's blue.
Is that what it is?
I think that's the problem. You know, sometimes the elderly ladies have the blue hair.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did that, but he did.
Yeah. Is Mark there?
Mark?
Somebody there.
No.
Cyrene?
Oh, there's somebody.
Jeff. Hello there.
Nobody seems to want to talk to us today.
I know. And we are in the second match with AMW defending the tag team titles against Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles. These guys are going at it, and they've done a bunch of near falls, and it looks like they're having a really good match.
Oh, and something just flew into the ring.
A baton just flew into the ring.
The boss man's nightstick.
A nightstick. The big boss man is coming back. Oh, my God.
Let's go to Red. What's going on? Ray in Texas.
Yeah, I'm hoping I don't lose signal here. I'm driving a truck across heading towards Waco from El Paso.
Okay.
And I had a good, clear signal for the longest, and I've got a couple of peaks ahead of me, and I sure want to talk to Bill.
Bill's on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Oklahoma Stampede, it's an honor to talk to you.
Well, thank you.
And Danny Hodge, and back in the days, man, and I got to see on Terry Allen get whooped by Butch Reed in person, man. I thought that was real blood.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
It probably was. Butch was a great one. I enjoyed
Oklahoma
Butch.
City, downtown here in Oklahoma City, I saw it.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. And Kerry, I see him up close by there. That's one of the hugest guys, him and JYD. Man, I used to love the way you wrestled, man. You reminded me of Artie Murphy, the cowboy. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So here's a couple of questions I got for you. Who makes this noise right here? That was Stan and Larry Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, how about, oh, man, what's that other guy?
Oh, that's Duggan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We got to get running, okay, because I got a bunch of calls and only a few minutes left, okay?
Where you live at now, Bill?
I live in Bixby, Oklahoma.
Oh, you live in Bixby, Arizona?
Bixby, Oklahoma.
Bixby, Oklahoma.
Bixby, Oklahoma. I live up the Stroud, Oklahoma.
Oh.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm driving a truck right now across country, but I'm sure I'm glad to talk to one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I didn't get to hear about the funeral parts, man. How many people you said you went to that passed away?
Oh.
Well, when DiBiase told me over 40 guys had passed away, and there's been more than that since then. This was a conversation he and I had some time ago.
Yeah, I caught on to the tail end of it. I was kind of wanting to know whatever happened to Butch Reed lately, you know?
Yeah, I think Butch is doing well, and he's in Missouri, and he still rodeos a little bit and some other things. He's a pretty rugged guy.
How about Terry Allen?
Terry Allen has bad car accident.
Oh, Terry.
Terry Taylor, I mean.
Terry Taylor's working for TNA.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to Michelle in New York. Are you there? Hello.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, what's going on, Dave?
Not too much. What's going on?
Recently there has been a brouhaha on the internet about Ring of Honor paying off reporters to give positive reviews to their DVDs. Is this true?
I've sure never heard of anything like that. I don't see why they would have to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But have you ever been offered any cash money under the table from any wrestlers to put them over?
That was really intelligent.
Yeah.
Let's go to Richard in Ohio.
Chris in Brooklyn. Chris, what's going on?
Oh, hello, is this Mr. Meltzer?
This is Mr. Meltzer and Mr. Alvarez.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mr. Meltzer, Mr. Alvarez. I have a question regarding Trish Stratus.
Yes.
My question is basically, is Trish Stratus retiring from wrestling?
We don't know right now. I don't even know if she knows right now, but she's going to be she's planning on taking a hiatus when she gets married, which is going to be in the fall.
Oh, I heard about that story. No, my only thing is, obviously, I understand completely that, once a woman gets married, she has to contemplate her personal life. My only hope was that maybe, if it's possible, up to her, obviously, if she can continue wrestling a couple of more years and then just retire and then move on to other professions. I mean, she's a very talented woman. I mean, I know she can move into acting and theater or maybe go back to medical school. I was just curious if she was hoping maybe to stick around at least a couple more years and then just...
I don't know. No one really knows. To be honest, I don't. It's a decision she's going to make. I know that within the company, they're going on the impression that she's going to get married and probably not come back.
I think if she comes back, it's going to be coming back for the love of wrestling, because I think she's pretty much. It won't be coming back for money.
No. Is the WWF fine with her leaving as long as she doesn't go to TNA? Because obviously,
her contract's up, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, of course they wouldn't be happy if she went to TNA. I don't know that, TNA would die to have her. I mean, I know that as a fact. The one advantage of TNA is if she wants to stay in wrestling, you can stay in wrestling in TNA and have, a much easier schedule if you want to work, in acting and things like that, like what Christian's doing. TNA is perfect for him. It's not perfect for everyone, and there's a sense of going, when you go to TNA, you're going down, and it makes you less motivated because you've been at the big show, and now it's not as much of a big show. So, everyone's different. I have not spoken to her, so I really can't give you a feel of where she's coming from, other than the feeling that, the feeling the company has is that she probably won't be back.
Oh, the only thing I was wondering is because the WWE has pushed her so much. I understand with Christian, he was basically miserable in the WWE, and basically he was stuck in mid-card, so he had a real valid reason for going somewhere else. I think WWE, correct me if I'm wrong, if it came down to it, would they give her a part-time schedule just to keep her in WWE and put her in a WWE film? Because they do have a film division and to help her out.
That's something that they would have to decide. I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of factors there, but yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. If they want to keep her and put her in a movie, they certainly could do that. And really,
at this point, as far as TNA, what would she even do?
it would just be a way to keep her feet in wrestling. And but I mean, you know, she would Gail Kim.
Not exactly a stellar women's division or anything of that.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be with Gail Kim, obviously. That's all that she would be doing. I mean, I don't expect it. I'm just throwing it out as a possibility.
Oh, my question is, do you see her as being like loyal to WWE in the sense that she's very happy there, and if she moves on, it's because she wants to do other things and just not be in wrestling anymore? Because she has suffered a lot of injuries.
Yeah, she's had a lot of injuries recently. But I don't think it's a matter of loyalty. I think it's a matter of goals in life. And, you know, if she has other goals in life, if she does, and again, I mean, I know it's been talked about. I mean, I know that she's talked about it, and, you know, she's got friends who are trying this. A lot of, you know, if she has any aspirations of doing anything as far as acting or, you know, variety shows or comedy or whatever, and she's done this stuff before, this is the time to do it because, you know, she's not getting younger and they always want the new young thing, you know, and she's 30. So if she has aspirations, that this is the time to do it. If she doesn't, and, you know, again, I don't know what she wants and out of life because, again, you know, I don't know, and I don't want to talk, you know, I don't want to say, like, you know, where she's coming from. Because usually, when it comes to people like this, I usually kind of have a good idea of where their heads are and what they're, you know, debating. And with her, I mean, I know from talking to people, but I don't know from talking to her, so I really can't give you much more.
My other question is she, like, still negotiating just in case, let's say, it comes to August? And
I know that they've talked, but I don't know, you know, the fact that they don't expect her back tells me that the negotiations probably are not going like they're going to sign a new deal. So, unless something's changed in the last, you know, since Friday. So,
like she said, let's say she goes on her honeymoon and sits at home and misses wrestling because she's very popular with her fan base.
Like I said, anything's popular. We don't know. It's all up in the air. Yeah, of course she could come back if she wants to. You know, I mean, I don't think it's going to close the door. So, you know, I don't, you know. We'll have to see. She may stay, you know. I mean, I don't know the answer. But again, if her goal is to do something in acting, this is the time to make the move for sure.
I understand completely. I mean, like you said, the fact that the company has to protect itself and move on, like she's not going to be there. But at the end of the day, she could just say in a couple of weeks, "I want to stay," and when I come back from my honeymoon, I want to come back.
Well, of course she can.
She could say that.
Of course she could say that. You know, whether that'll happen or not. We're going to get going, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, let's go to Alan in Florida. Alan, what's going on?
Hello, Dave.
Hey there.
I've got to ask you a couple questions. First off, Billy Jack Haynes and the new interview that RF Video put out.
Yes.
He said that he was going to shoot Vince McMahon at a house show. You know anything about this? Years ago?
Oh, he said he at one point was going to.
Well, yeah, he pulled the gun.
Not a future threat?
Well, he pulled the gun on him, he said.
He didn't pull a gun on him.
Oh, so he's just trying to sell the interview or whatever?
He didn't pull a gun on Vince McMahon. He may have, in his mind, been mad enough to where he wanted to, and he wouldn't be the only one to have had that in their mind at some point, but, you know, a lot of people think about doing things and don't do them because it would be really stupid to do them.
Right. So he didn't go out to the car to get the gun? That's what the story is.
I don't know.
Maybe he didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that. He didn't, yeah, it didn't happen.
Well, okay. And also, in the new WWE magazine, I guess it's supposed to be like a half work or half shoot, or you don't know? Because there's a story in there I wanted to ask you about.
Hey, you can ask me about the story. I mean, the magazine is going to be like, sometimes work, sometimes shoot, sometimes in the middle, sometimes they don't even know.
Yeah. Well, as far as they have the Sergeant Slaughter, the story with the Iron Sheik, did he pull the knife backstage once or something? The Sheik pulled on him? Did they have a love-hate relationship, or what's going on?
The Iron Sheik pulled a knife on Sergeant Slaughter. That's amazing. I would be very suspicious of that.
You don't think it happened?
No, I certainly don't think it happened.
Okay.
Because if it did, he'd have been fired in an instant, and he was never fired for doing that. You know, they had their feud, and Sheik was around for years after that. So no, I don't buy that for a second.
They never had any heat, or you don't know?
They may very well have had heat. I mean, a lot of people don't get along with the Iron Sheik, so you know.
But I mean, he inducted him into the Hall of Fame. I guess he's, you know.
Yeah, Vince obviously has a soft spot in his heart for Iron Sheik because he did induct him in the Hall of Fame, or maybe he just felt that he wanted to be amused that night, and I'm sure he was.
You don't think the story was real?
Did he pull the knife on Sergeant Slaughter? No, of course not. He wasn't fired. He'd be fired in an instant for that. Okay. No question.
Are they trying to like play off of the Arn Anderson thing, or you don't know?
So considering that, who knows? Who knows? But
Probably made for a good story at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to Matt in San Francisco. Matt, what's going on? Matt, are you there?
Hey, Chico, how's it going, brother? Hey. Dave, did you hear Brian's Figure 4 Daily with Buddy Wayne?
No,
Buddy
I did not.
No? Buddy Rose and the Colonel pretty much buried you on the air.
They had a bad day.
Yeah.
And any idea why there would be any heat there?
Because they're from the old school.
Yeah, but...
Well, Buddy, I mean, I don't know about the Colonel, but Buddy, there was actually a thing. There was a show in Fremont or Hayward, California a couple of years ago. This is when, about 96, so it was actually about 10 years ago. But what happened was, and I don't remember who it was, I think it was Black Warrior was supposed to wrestle on the show, and he didn't get out of Mexico, so Conan sent Rey Mysterio, and he was already a star in WCW by this point, to come in, and Buddy was in the main event, I think against Tito Santana, but I could be wrong. But anyway, the promoter didn't want Rey on the show, even though he was there willing and ready to work against Damien. And Buddy, felt that, probably wasn't paying any attention to the wrestling scene or knowing who Rey Mysterio was, thought that there was a wrestler in every corner of Mexico who was just as good as Rey Mysterio. And so anyway, I wrote about how the promoter really screwed up, being that, we could have had Rey Mysterio in a show, and instead we saw, Buddy, who was, 350 pounds maybe by then, 380, probably 380, against Tito Santana, and Buddy knows how to work. He was a great worker in his day, but, he's not exactly Rey Mysterio, and Buddy in 96 isn't exactly Rey in 96, and Buddy felt he was much better than Rey and thought that I had insulted him by saying that.
Which was interesting because we all sat together at Cauliflower Alley and everything seemed fine.
I thought so too.
But,
But old habits die hard.
Yes.
I'm sure there's plenty of guys from that year. There's guys now who hate me and they don't even know why.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. The same deal where they just always have.
They don't even know why. I mean, because I actually have asked people, and it's just because, just the idea, just the idea of someone making money in wrestling, or you've never been a wrestler, and I'll go, what about Sam Mushnick and Vince McMahon? I mean, they were the most powerful people in the history of the business. And, Vince ended up wrestling later, but, you wouldn't really call him a wrestler. And Sam sure as hell never wrestled and never wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's like, these were the guys who ran the business. So it's like the idea that unless you've, taken a bump, you can't, know anything about wrestling. I mean, that's ludicrous. Everyone knows that going in. But there are people in wrestling who, will stick to that, against all logic. I'm not saying that's Buddy and the Colonel, because I don't know. But, as far as the Colonel, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. You'd have to listen to what they said. And but Buddy, I do remember that specific incident in, 96-ish.
Was that show, did that show have a couple midgets on it? Little Nasty Boy, if I remember right?
It's possible, because he worked those shows. It was a Kirk White show, I know that. I know it had a women, I forgot, Brenda Blaze or something, Barbara Blaze, from L.A., and Victoria Tosi. I know that they wrestled on that show. And I don't remember who else. It was mostly, guys, guys that Rex Farmer trained, I think.
Conan's Victoria?
What?
You want to?
Conan's Victoria, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that chick's a trip, man. She's definitely odd. But, yeah, she's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, I was asked to make a comment towards you, Dave. I have a new nickname for you. Dynamite Dave.
What?
I was listening to some drops of the James in Kentucky from the old Iata days.
Oh, okay.
Dynamite Dave.
Oh, yeah, that crazy guy, yeah.
Yeah, that was some good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Chico, I will see you in September.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we're going to go to, is it Jimmy in Chicago? Hello?
That's Joey in Chicago.
Joey in Chicago. Okay.
Joey in Chicago, baby.
All right.
Hey, I actually ran a show last night, Totally Cool Wrestling with the Iron Sheik.
Wow.
And yes, we had Rhino, the Iron Sheik, Zach Gowen, just a complete comedy show, and I actually just wanted to put Sheik over to there's things like that.
Hello?
Oh, well, maybe losing him is he was trying to put the Sheik over.
Yeah. I think we lost him. Hello.
Yes. Your cell phone's dying.
Yeah, it's gone.
Why don't you tell everybody about Linda Miles?
Oh, my God. Well, this woman, she was a fairly competent basketball player in Ohio somewhere, right?
She was from Ohio, but she went to Rutgers, and which was a
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
The point is, at some level of competence, she played high school and college women's basketball, a good athlete, and we put her in class, and could not get this at all. And so at one point, I put her on television against Jillian Hall, who was probably my best girl at the time, and it was so bad that I just spliced in a recap from last week of something over the top of it, wouldn't air it. And she insisted on me blaming Jillian as well, which was like blaming the guy that's walking down the sidewalk when the safe falls on his head. So then I leave her off TV for like 6 months. And then they want to see her. I like, she sucks. So I thought, okay, I'll put her on. Mickey James, my best girl at that time, right? They had a match that was so bad it hurt the fans' feelings. The people started bringing last week's tickets back. Please refund this, right? It was worse than the previous match. And she didn't even stop. On the way back, she stopped and asked Alexis if she was okay, grabbed her bag, turned right, and we never saw her again. She just quit, which was the best thing. It was a kindness to the business.
As somebody who trained a lot of people, obviously in Ohio Valley, did you ever have anyone sort of like her where just for months and maybe even years, just they were horrible, and then one day it just clicked?
No. No, the thing is, if they're just rotten to the core, I mean, just out and out, stink down the street rotten, they're always going to be rotten. They can't get it. You can tell some people are bad with 2 left feet, like a puppy with big paws, and clumsy, but you can tell they have something about them that grasps what they're supposed to do.
Sure.
But, they've always got something if they develop in any way. But no, the ones that are really stinky bad, you can smell them coming down the street, and they always stay bad.
Go to Dean in Brooklyn. Dean, what's going on?
Oh, hello, Mr. Meltzer. Hi, Mr. Cornett.
Hello there.
How you doing? I just want to say, first off, I want to commend you on the stuff you do with Wrestling Observer for like 24 years. It's incredible, and the amount of research and everything.
Yeah, it's like almost like I never had a life.
I just can't imagine one person doing all that.
I can't either, and I do it.
Yeah, it's incredible for 24 years. I also want to tell Mr. Cornett, I grew up watching in the 90s when you managed Yokozuna. And I thought that was, you did a great
it's almost like I never had a life.
Don't you think it's kind of funny that, like all of the stuff, like let's say in the 80s that you did that you're probably like really proud of, like in Mid-South Wrestling, and then someone brings up, when you managed like Yokozuna or wrestled Jose Lothario or something.
Exactly.
That was like...
That was funny, too. that was hilarious, too. I kind of remember that one with Jose Lothario.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to buy all the copies of the tape.
You beat up a senior citizen. Anyway, my question is, I have a question actually from this week's Observer. It's regarding Trish Stratus and Lita.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, I realize...
What are you in a bathtub over there?
In a can?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
He's in a bomb shelter.
No.
It's an echo chamber for sure, though.
A parking garage.
No,
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm actually at my law school, that's why.
Oh,
you're at law school? Yeah. Well, Jay Loophole Cheever, let me know when you graduate.
I'm not in a bomb shop. I was just moving, like, to the second floor of the building, that's all.
Okay.
Nice. I didn't want to disturb anybody.
Okay.
The stairwell flasher.
No. Nobody's there. My question is...
Yes, what is...
I know, my question is basically, I realize that Trish Stratus is leaving because she's getting married and she's possibly retiring, but I was confused about why Lita's leaving because I thought that with Trish out of the way, that she would probably get a bigger push and actually wrestle more.
I think that she just wants to go home. I mean, there's no, she may very well come back, but I mean, she's been on the road for years and years and years, and she saved her money, and it's like sometimes you just want to step away. Like Jim,
I can identify.
Jim is trying to step away, but they keep pulling him back.
Dragged
back. That was just confusing because I know you wrote that she wants to get into acting, but I was like, that was confusing because I thought like this would be an opportunity for her maybe to break away from Edge and even maybe turn into a babyface. Because I know she's been stuck as a heel ever since the whole Matt Hardy thing.
Well, I believe me, I can identify. I think if she just wants to go home, if she wants to get into acting, like I just want to get into the recliner. But it's the same situation. I understand how she feels.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that like. It's such a tough life, and, she probably just said, look, I just need a break for a little while. I don't think there's anything more than that, because it's not like there was any heat or anything like that, as far as, like, big problems with it. It's just her contract's up, and she just said she needs a break.
Oh, so do you think there's a good chance she will be coming back? I mean, I know Trish might not if she has children.
Nobody.
I think there's going to be a huge angle where Lita jumps Trish and beats her children over the head while Trish has to watch for WrestleMania 2012.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone who retires, I mean, with very few exceptions, they do end up coming back, even if it's just for a little while. So at some point, nothing would surprise me.
Jack Briscoe finally came back. Took like 13 years.
Yeah.
An appearance, but he came back.
Yeah.
I just, like you said, as long as they're on good terms with McMahon and everything, so it's not like they're going to be like showing up in TNA.
Well, you know what?
I tell you, when they're on bad terms.
No, you know what? The truth is that I think the odds of them coming back are better on bad terms, because if you're on good terms, Vince just figures like, I can do whatever you want because, but if you're on bad terms, it becomes a challenge for Vince. Everyone who's been on the worst terms with Vince McMahon, those are the ones who get the phone calls all the time. I mean, geez, Bret Hart got it for like 7 straight years.
Oh, I understand.
I plan to test that theory.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Mr. Murphy, you're right. I mean, Bret Hart, I think he brought him back because he thought he could make some money with him, and
I think it was a challenge. I think it was a challenge as much as anything else, and, like Bruno Sammartino, you know what I mean? It's like I think that there's just the fact that they were so vehemently negative towards him that he felt the need to bring him back, or somebody like Bobby Heenan, who just is always nice to him. It's like, I'll bring Bobby back, like never. You know what I mean? Yeah, like at WrestleMania, I'll bring him back for a cameo, but these other guys, I need them. I need to get them back.
Yeah, but I mean, with Bret Hart, I can understand why Bret Hart has him in debt against McMahon. I mean, let's not forget what happened to Owen Hart, which I thought was completely negligent. I mean, as a lawsuit of myself, that was horrible. Putting a guy's life like that is just.
Well, they didn't know it at the time. I mean, I can get, but I mean, there was negligence involved in that was pretty bad. But
I mean, to be honest, sir, if that was me and I was doing that, I would have had a stuntman do it, or else I would have had just Owen Hart run down and trip, and people want to laugh at it. But you don't put a human being on a wire on a ceiling. I mean, it was totally stupid, and if that was me, I can understand why he never want to work with Vince McMahon again.
Yeah.
You could have litigated that case.
Right, and
possibly it could have come out better.
Yeah, that's all right. So I guess there's a chance that they might come back, like Trish and Lita, after a while, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they choose to, and the time is right, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. No, not at all.
Are they going to bring up
a democracy counselor?
Right.
Are they going to bring up like new females for developmental just to add some actual?
Well, I mean, we'll look at the Diva Search. That's what it's there for. And Jim has dealt with many of those women.
Yeah, I know.
Or United could just look through a swimwear catalog.
They're not too good at all. And I agree with you, Mr. Cornette, about that guy Johnny Ace. I mean, I agree with you 100%. That guy doesn't know what he's doing, for crying out loud.
Okay. Now we got it.
If you see a girl in a catalog and you want to see her on WWF television, just mail the picture, tear it out.
Oh my God, something is going on. There's like somebody's spraying a fire extinguisher on the ring, and they have this match, and it's in a fog. It's like, Brian, like they're doing this gimmick. You can't see anything. It's like, and like it's like somebody's like playing nerve gas in this building in the opening match, the Eric Young match. It's like not in the main event. Can you imagine?
Well, it's all uphill from here.
Oh my God! So they're wrestling in a fog. The fog's kind of going away finally.
Did the ring get caught on fire inadvertently by a fan throwing a lighter in the ring, or was it just some sort of gimmick?
No, someone like sprayed something from the ceiling. I mean, it's a planned thing. and the fog's kind of going away. The fans are kind of coughing, and not coughing, I don't think, but they're kind of like, we're all looking at the ceiling, so I don't know how the heat's probably going to be through the fence. This looks like, again, and I guess we'll have to watch it when it happens, but that looked like something right out of the Vince Russo playbook. Oh, just needless, stupid. We can't see the frickin' match now. Johnny Devine just did a springboard moonsault that, in the fog. That was nice, and he missed.
That's good.
And Eric Young, I think, inside cradle. I don't know. He got a 2 count only. I thought that might have been the finish, but no such luck. Brian, can you hear me? Something's going on wrong here, too. Brian is not here. Okay, we've had some technical difficulty, but apparently it's not as bad as the technical difficulty that they're having in Orlando. For the last, it seems like 10 minutes, they have been playing this Sting video over and over and over again because there's something going on, and I don't know what it is yet. And if someone, I guess maybe in a little while, we'll probably get a phone call from there and find out what is going on. But
I hate to interrupt everybody.
Yes.
Is TNA back on your TV yet?
Oh no, it's still off.
I believe the building is on fire.
Oh my God.
The fans have been evacuated, which may explain the fire extinguisher thing at the beginning.
I guess so. Wow, what a disaster.
Yeah, you might be able to say that.
Wow.
I wonder if they can move the ring to the parking lot.
I don't see that happening.
Wow. And it's the Rey Mysterio, Vicky Guerrero thing. What else can I say about it? But Matt Hardy and Gregory Helms had a really good match on that show. So, Brian, are you still there? Is anyone there? Is Dana White here? Is anyone... We don't have anyone here right now. Okay, we should go to a break right now. We'll come back. We're going to have Dana White and hopefully Brian as well. You'll see Wrestling Observer live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. We are going to go to James. James, what's going on? Hello, James. Yeah.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Not too much. What's going on?
Not much. Dana, big honor to be on.
Dana's not on. Not on. He's gone. Hello? Yeah, James is gone. Well, that was wonderful. Let's see. We are completely out of time. I guess that the bell saved me there. Okay, I'm going to go start and take some phone calls. We're going to go start with David in New York. David, you're on with Gabe. What's going on?
Gabe, a couple questions. First, does it frustrate you that there was not a lot of movement in the interpromotional feud on CZW's end, which they also did when they were feuding with IWA Mid-South, where IWA did most of the heavy lifting in the feud?
I don't really care what CZW does. I mean, whatever. They could have done with it what they wanted to, and that's what they did with it, so it didn't matter. We did tremendous business off of it. So, I'm happy with that. But as far as the CZW goes, I'm glad, we don't have to work with them anymore. And I'm glad the whole thing's over. So whatever they do, they do.
Second, on the very, very off chance that for something like, say, Kabashi money, Angle would consider doing indie shows, would you book him, or would you decide, no, he's too banged up, too addicted, and pass on it?
I mean, I can't say how banged up or whatever else people are saying about him because I've never spoken to him. But I mean, if he was interested, we would obviously be interested. I mean, it would be foolish not to look into it.
Do you think that's just a symptom of the mindset of being a booker and promoter, or do you think that if you're on the outside looking in, you would say no, we should not book him because of his current state?
But I don't know what his current state is. So that's what I'm saying is we would investigate into what his current state is. Going on here and his hearsay and that kind of stuff. And I know how things get exaggerated on the internet, so we would look into what his current state is, and obviously we would be foolish not to look into that, and then we would move from there.
No, but I'm not talking about on the internet. I'm talking about what Dave, the person who is interviewing right now, writes in his newsletter.
Yeah. I haven't read what he wrote in the newsletter. Again, I like to talk to people face-to-face, phone-to-phone, person-to-person, rather than go by what's in the newsletter. No offense to Dave, because obviously we have a great deal of respect for the Wrestling Observer. But I'd like to deal with people on a one-on-one basis and then move from there. And I have never talked to Kurt Angle in my life. So, and ECW, I said hello to him, and that was it.
We've been having some computer problems. So what I'm going to have to do when it comes to calls, I don't know who is on the line, so I will just, we're going to get to the phone calls in just a second, but if you're on the line and I say hello, and one of you will be the one who is the caller. Anyway, we've been having problems with, throughout the show, so that's kind of why we're a little off the game, but anyway, okay, we're going to start taking calls, and again, just say, we don't know who this is, just say hello. If you don't say hello, you're going to be cut off if you're on the line. Okay, you're getting cut off. All right, try again. Say hello. All right, who are you and where are you from?
Hi, this is Bill from Trenton.
Okay, it's Bill from Trenton. You're on with Gabe. Bill, you're on. Hello?
Yes.
You're on with Gabe. Go ahead.
Hello, Gabe.
Yep.
Hi, yeah, I had a question about ROH and Rob Feinstein's relationship with...
Well, guess what? I'm not going to answer it. So next caller, please, or another question, please.
And we're covering the TNA pay-per-view for the next 2 hours as well. As right now, Sanjay Dutt and Austin Starr, the former Austin Aries, are in the ring for the Kevin Nash, whatever it is, Royal Rumble, which will include a midget, Zach Gowen, a woman, and a lot of good wrestlers as well, theoretically. So anyway, that's
like AAA.
Sorrelda's here, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, at least the comedy's probably going to be done away with in this match. Hopefully they don't screw up the Senshi Chris Sabin match like they did last night. Frank Kazarian just slapped the hell out of Sorrelda's face. Johnny Devine just running in, by the way, in this match. D-Ray 3000 is back, by the way.
I was wondering where he was at.
Yeah, he came in with his comb and doing some headbutts and.
Cold-blooded murderer, I mean.
Slick Johnson, I think, took off his referee shirt, and I think he's now in the Battle Royal.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. He just got thrown over the top ropes by Petey Williams, so he didn't last long.
Well, does he get to come back in and put the shirt back on now?
What?
Does he get to come back in and put the shirt back on now?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But Jeremy Borash is in the dressing room, and under the dressing room it says Samoa Joe. And earlier, before the show started, Jake Roberts is sneaking up behind Jeremy Borash, and Jeremy does not know Jake is there, but now he does. Hopefully Jake Roberts... I'll tell you what. Jake Roberts on Thursday. Whoa.
Yeah, that was quite a deal.
You know that they...
Have they pulled him from this refereeing gig yet?
No, he's there.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they were going to use him again, but... there he is, right behind, Jeremy, and he's cutting a promo, and hopefully it's a better one than he cut on Thursday.
I would have bet money that somehow they would have gotten him out of that.
Hopefully it was I'm sure it was. Hopefully it was pre-taped, because, boy, I don't know about him on live TV. You know that he tried to stick that snake down Matt Heist's, Runt's pants.
And the trainer came out and confiscated his snake?
Yeah. But I mean, none of that it made TV. They edited quite a bit. We've got a 4-way monstrous brawl, and Jake Roberts is in the ring live, not on pre-tape, with a snake in a bag. And we've got Runt and Abyss and Samoa Joe and Raven in this 4-way, so they are going to... that's what's happening. Oh, my God. Spike just took this choke slam through a table off of this, that thing that you climb up, where they put the lights.
The lighting stand?
Yeah, it didn't break.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We are joined in the segment by Daniel Puder, who is not... Kurt Angle will not mention your name, but he will certainly downgrade you every chance he gets.
I love it, brother.
So what's new with Kurt Angle? Tell me.
Well, Kurt Angle went and did a Spike TV called a press conference for him about 2 weeks ago. He mentioned probably 4 or 5 things. First one he mentioned was, you wouldn't mention my name. That's fine. Second thing he mentioned was he got offered the best deal in his whole entire life to fight for the UFC, one fight, 8-year contract, like $10 million or some deal like that.
What he says.
Which I'll go over each of these points in a second. Third one is that he didn't do drugs for 18 months. Did you hear about that one?
I heard about that one, yes.
Okay. Fourth one is actually last week. During the first conversation, during the first press release, he said that he could beat me up in 40 seconds, and that he could also beat Chuck and Tito.
Yeah, he did say that.
And then the fifth one, last week, he said that, on his satellite, he said that he could beat me up with with his arms tied behind his back.
Really? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, you said that one too this last week, yeah.
Oh, great.
Now, I challenge him on that one.
I do think you would do pretty well on that one.
Because, this is the reason. I put up, right after his first press release last week, I put up on the website that I would put my whole payday on fighting him, in the cage. I don't care where, if it's in, whatever company. But the deal is that now he thinks he can beat me with his hands tied behind his back. That could be defined by the state of doing drugs that he's doing drugs. There's no way out of his mind that he thinks that he can. I mean, dude, why would you turn down $10 million? That's more than he's ever made on all his WrestleManias put together.
That's more than he's made in everything he's ever done in his life or will do in his life put together.
There you go, $10 million. There's no way. Well, besides him knowing that I'm going to whoop the hell out of him, I'm going to beat him down silly, and then I'm going to snap his arm like I tried doing. He says, hey, it was an amateur wrestling match. But when I got in, he just broke Chris Naraki three of his ribs.
Yeah.
And then he called all of us out. I raised my hand. I got in there. The only thing the ref told me was that I couldn't do any striking. That's the only thing. So what am I supposed to think? What am I, thinking what he's thinking? He's trying to kick my ass, roll me up and break some more ribs. So he looks good.
Yeah.
And Vince is the buffoon in the back room that I should have whooped his ass too. Because he can go kiss my ass. Dude, I'd challenge him or Triple H in a fight any day. I'd put a payday on it too. Oh, man. Both those guys. Freaking retards. Oh, Ted, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Okay, we're going to go to the phone calls. We've got Pete in Tennessee. Pete, what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
I just got a quick question for Mr. Peter there.
Yes.
Are you insane? Kurt Angle is a world-class Olympic athlete. You're a guy that got on tough enough. WWE wasn't I do believe. And you made it through a bunch of nobodies. You maybe fought a couple of jobbers here and there. That guy has been training since the day he was born. The guy is absolute a wrestling machine, and you think he could be. And I did hear what he said because he said it on a show called Bubba the Love Sponge, and he said he could beat you with one arm behind his back, and he probably could. The man is absolutely incredible, an incredible athlete. You wouldn't last 10 minutes in there with him.
Good arm or a bad arm?
Which arm did he say?
Huh?
Which arm behind his back?
He didn't say which arm. He said one arm behind his back because I heard the interview with him on there.
It was
I don't think it would really matter. The man's he's a marvelous. And I'm not trying to put you down, dude, but you're outclassing that match. He gets you to the mat, it's over, man.
I think if he gets him to the mat, I'm not sure the advantage isn't on with Daniel.
Well, it's submission. He's never done submission.
I mean, the last time they were on the mat, the advantage was with Daniel. I mean, he hooked him. He hooked him the last time they were on the mat. Now, in that match, or whatever it actually was, as I recall, you pretty much got the Kimura standing, and then you went to your back as he took you down. It was kind of a combination of him wanting you down and you wanting to be down at the same time, the way I saw it. Now, was that exactly?
Well, if you watch it, because I've watched it probably about 30, 40 good times, if you watch it, I key lock him and I pull him into me. And he's wanting to take me down at the same time, but he doesn't know what to do because I key locked his arm.
Yeah.
So, I would say another 2-3 seconds and it would have snapped. Like, I had that thing so tight, I was wondering why it wasn't snapping.
Well, you know he never would have tapped.
No, I know, but it would have snapped.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay. Pete, anything else?
I don't wish the guy any ill will, don't get me wrong, but I really think that he's making a serious mistake there, okay? And good luck to you, fella, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
That was nice.
That was a good one.
Yeah. He was such a nice guy. I mean, I really liked his support.
Yeah. We're going to go to line. We're going to go to John in St. Louis. John, what's going on?
So I got a question for you, man. Did you hear the fight about Frank Shamrock against your wrestling buddy over there?
What?
You didn't Phil Baroni?
You're trying to put that together, man, since they couldn't get Phil Baroni, man.
He backed out, man, and trying to get Kurt Angle against Frank Shamrock, man.
Frank Shamrock, Kurt Angle was the World Fighter was pushing to put that one together, which is not going to happen either, by the way. I know, I know so many fights that aren't going to happen. I think I hear about the fights that aren't going to happen more than the ones that are these days.
But what about Kurt Angle's injury?
Which one? The neck injury? I mean, the neck injury he's had for 10 years.
No, to his pecker.
Okay, all right, great.
But going back to the match for Samoa Joe, it's not only going to be it's one of my biggest matches because I know the ability that he has, and he has as much ability as anybody I've wrestled. So, I go back and look at WWE, and not to blow smoke up my own rear end, but if you want to pick out the 10 greatest matches in WWE history, I guarantee I'm part of all 10 of them. And Samoa Joe is going to be the exact same thing in TNA.
Now you mentioned that everybody knows, obviously, that you broke your neck and won a gold medal. Are you confident that if you're hurt, you can actually say, I don't think I can do today's show, can you write me out of it? Or are you so driven that might be a problem?
The problem will be me lying to Dixie. She told me, just do me one favor, just one thing. Don't lie to me. And that's the problem I will have with Dixie, because I want to do so much for her, because she's done so much, really too much for me, that I want to be there for her more than any other wrestler has ever been. My problem is going to be saying, Dixie, I'm hurt. My problem is going to be saying, Dixie, I can't go today. I'm probably going to lie to her more than I'm going to tell her the truth.
We're going to go to Ed in San Antonio. Ed, you're on with Kurt.
Hey guys, Kurt, I just want to say it's truly an honor to have this opportunity to talk to you. I'm one of your biggest fans. I've talked to you about you on this show numerous times. And you pretty much answered my original question earlier about your health, so I wanted to ask you about one of the best commercials that I ever saw the WWE put out was the one for WrestleMania with you and Christy Hemme.
I don't think Kurt or I can hear Ed.
Okay, go ahead, Ed, and I'll relay it then.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know if if there had any plans to maybe some more promos.
Hello. Hello. Is anyone on the air right now? Kurt, can you hear me? Kurt's gone. Is Brian gone? That's great. Okay.
We're going to go start taking phone calls. We're going to start with Vinny in New York. Vinny, you're first up.
Merry Christmas, guys. What's going on?
Not too much. Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you very much. Dave, the TNA ratings are up and the company's still in business, so when are you going to apologize to Vince Russo?
Apologize to Vince Russo for what? Because did I say that the company would be out of business within 2 weeks after he took over, 4 weeks?
No, you said...
Oh, okay, didn't say that, so what do I need to apologize for?
No, I'm just being sarcastic. I'm just saying that you were saying when he came in, he was going to tank the ratings because the storylines are stale. And
actually, Dave didn't say that. That was probably me. Dave gave him far more of a chance than I did.
Yeah, I said wait and see. And so far, it's way too early to say anything because now if that last pay-per-view would have done what the pay-per-view before did, there might be something to say. And even then, it's too early. But
the ratings are up.
The ratings are up, and the buy rate was down in half. I don't know which is better.
I would say ratings are better at this point because you need to have an audience to buy your pay-per-views.
Yeah, but the audience didn't buy
the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but
half the audience didn't buy the pay-per-view and bought his first
second pay-per-view did half the audience of the first pay-per-view. That's not good. I don't care. And the rating, that 1.2 rating, what does that mean if the next pay-per-view doesn't go up? Because admittedly, the 1.2 came the Thursday after the last pay-per-view, and the ones before. But, you're also trying to compare different time slots. It's apples and oranges. You're saying, 9 p.m. rating was above an 11 p.m. rating. I should hope so.
Yeah, but you guys say
what's the point?
Base of fans. You say there's a static base of fans, and now you're saying that, since they moved to 9 p.m., there's
they've added 300,000 fans. That's good.
Well, they had 1.4 million fans 2 weeks ago, and they had 1.2 million. But the point is, they had 1.4 million fans for some of the shows over the summer at 11 p.m. So it's not even. It's back to a level that they were before. It's not. It's not at
they haven't broken through to a new level yet. I mean, so.
You guys keep pointing to.
But it is up from 11. It's up from 11 p.m. I mean, yeah, but it's way too early to say anything. Again, if we start seeing an increase in the buy rate, but the second show, I mean, realistically, 3 weeks after the first one with all this competition, I don't know that it necessarily was going to show any life. I'm not like knocking him for it going down, in half. But the point is that there's nothing that can be said that's a positive. That's a big positive, because even if the rating is up, it didn't mean, the buy rate wasn't. And the buy rate's really the key thing, because that's where you're making your money. You're not, unless, of course, they start getting a cut of the ad money, which right now they don't get.
Okay, what about the TV product? You have to admit that it's been better since you take.
I will admit that a week ago Thursday I thought they had a good show, and this past Thursday I thought the show wasn't that good. And so I mean, overall, I don't think it's better.
Well, it depends on what what do you mean? What is a better show?
Well, he's getting the X Division over now.
No, they're not.
What are you talking about? Those are if you check on the net, all the marks.
The net, what? Whoa. Okay. Well, are any of those guys selling any more tickets than they were before? Or, I mean, I know they don't sell tickets, but I mean, on the next pay-per-view, is there an X Division match on the next pay-per-view that's going to mean something? They're not open. It's not. There isn't one. I mean, is the five-way? I think when they do the next five-way, is it going to mean any more than the five-way a week ago? No.
Their matches will never mean anything because they're too.
Well, you said they were over. Now you're saying the matches are never going to mean anything. But come on.
If you got him over, the matches would mean something.
People
and they're never going to
now.
What?
People care about him because he's funny now. People care about Sanjay Dutt because he's in an interesting.
Yeah, but what do you mean by
whoa. They don't. I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily any different. And besides, if they care about Sanjay Dutt a little bit more, and they may not, because I don't see any evidence that they care any more or less about him. But the point is, what does that matter? Sanjay Dutt is not going to make the difference. Let's go. What has been? Hold on. What has been the number one lesson that we have learned this year when it comes to this business? The number one lesson is that you don't need to have big ratings to make big money. Big ratings you have to get the people who watch your show interested in buying your product. And you can do that with big ratings, and you can do it with small ratings and draw more than people with big ratings. The other one is that what draws is getting a main event that people want to see, not the undercard. The show on the UFC show this Saturday, Chiek Congo and Carmelo Marrero. If UFC had done a whole bunch of angles on TV over the last couple of weeks, back and forth to build up those two matches, and not spent the right time building up Tito and Chuck, they'd be fools. Think about that.
You create main eventers by giving them pushes in the undercard. How did Edge and Christian get over? Through humorous sketches. Now Edge is the main eventer.
Edge got over as the main eventer because somebody needed. What happened was that there was a break, and somebody wanted to put something in there just as a little bit of a break. And when he got his shot, the ratings went up, and all of a sudden he got his spot because he did great when he was in the spot.
But over beforehand because of the previous sketches and skits.
He was over as a mid-carder, but nobody as far as in WWE respected him to be a top guy until he went in there in January of last year during that period where they put the title on him, which was a last-minute decision. It was not a well-planned-out decision. And all of a sudden the ratings went up, and they had to acknowledge that, hey, we lucked into something, and that's how he got his great year this year.
Look at Alex Shelley. Now he's over, and
Alex Shelley's over. How do you give me some? You're going to put Alex Shelley high on the card, and anyone's going to care? He's not over.
Something about Chris Jericho in 1999.
Chris Jericho in 1999. What in WCW? Chris Jericho didn't draw in WCW. I mean, if someone in WWE when he wrestled Hunter, yeah, at that point he was over. At that point, it drew ratings, and people really cared. And if you're trying to compare Alex Shelley today to Chris Jericho in 2000, or that's a pretty big step. Anyway, we got to go.
Dave, the last call was talking about Umad, right?
Yeah.
I had a question. Do you think they'll turn him face soon? Like, maybe he'll turn on Armando Alejandro Estrada for not letting him be black enough or something?
Turn him face. I mean, too soon. I mean, some point everyone turns. So I don't know. We're going to go to Brent in New Jersey. Brent, what's going on?
Hey, Dave.
Hey.
First off, I just want to say to Brian, I hope the Christmas show is as good as I expect it to be. and that please get Brett Kremen on the show from the mental hospital.
I will do my best.
We're going to go to Johnny in Long Island. Johnny, you're up with AJ Styles. What's going on? Johnny, are you there?
Oh, Johnny.
Okay, Johnny's. We'll go to Phil in Arizona. Phil, what's going on?
This is Johnny.
Okay, go ahead, Johnny.
How you doing tonight, Dave? Brian, AJ, everybody.
What's up, man?
Just had a question for AJ. I was just wondering how you feel about your large following in the gay community.
The gay community?
That's just
because I think it's mainly attributed to your looks.
Oh, God. Get rid of him.
Well.
Oh, God. Let's go to Matt in Connecticut. Matt, you're next up with AJ.
Hi, AJ.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. I was going to ask you about your work in ROH and everything because I think you're excellent there. But I kind of had a change of heart and wanted to encourage you to actually leave the show after Dave hung up on that first caller because I don't think it matters what sexual orientation your fans are.
All right. Bye. Goodbye. Let's go to John in California.
Dave.
Yeah. They came out of the woodwork tonight. John, you up?